Bulletcast for life.
Get up, this is a revolution. This is our time to rise. Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the most must-listen-to show during your Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. The Podfather is here, and I'm not going to do all the gimmicks today because I'm no longer Le Champion. But you know who is Le Champion? The Canadian Destroyer, Brandon Tanguma. How's it going, man?
It's going great, Phillip. You know you had work today. You just got off of work. You're probably a little tired. But come on, you got to put a little pep in your step. 8-time champ. I'm coming for Charlotte. Even though I'm not going to, have some flippy-flop title reigns like her.
I held the title for 84 days. 1 day longer than Bischoff's latest tenure with WWE. So I think I'm doing all right. But, your boy's coming back for the strap.
I guess you have to wait till Royal Rumble, right?
Wait, hold on, wait.
Now that you're not champion, now I have to defend it every show. I see how it is.
Look, when we don't have championship defenses scheduled, you goat me into defending the title, and I always retain, and then you just don't learn, and then you do it again. Maybe we have to do that, man.
I maybe only did like twice.
You've done it quite a bit, I've been looking at the Bulletcast Championship stats, man.
Well, I don't have the stats. I would like you to personally deliver me the title. Maybe I'll do like a photo shoot with it. Maybe I'll do like the Shawn Michaels Playgirl shoot with it. You never know.
I don't know, man. You've had some pretty impressive stats with the title, man. Your longest reign being the first one, which was 71 days.
Once again, you never forget your first.
Exactly. But my first reign, 140. Just saying, your boy. And then other people have held this title, but they're not as important as us because we're still on this show.
What about the other guy? Did the other guy ever hold the title?
19 days.
Ooh. That's what we call a transitional champion.
I know. Mendoza with that 21. Yep. If you want to hold the Bulletcast Championship, ladies and gentlemen, just let your boys know. But we're going to hop into Survivor Series. We're going to talk about this. We didn't do a recap Sunday night because, your boy had plans after. And I was like, all right, no, we can do it Monday. And then we just never did it. And then, Brandon didn't want to do one. Or he said I could just do it by myself. I'm like, am I losing my passion for this business? Is that what's happening, Brandon?
I can't answer that. You have to answer that question, Phillip.
I don't know. I don't know, man. But here we go. Survivor Series 2019. It happened, ladies and gentlemen. It did. We're not going to cover the kickoff show. We're just going to get straight to the main card. We're going to talk about the matches, and we're going to give you our grades, or my grades for the matches. I don't know if Brandon, he does grades. Maybe he does numbers. I hope he doesn't do stars like that hack Dave Meltzer. But, we're going to find out. So here we go. The NXT Women's Team, they defeat the Raw and SmackDown Women's Teams in this 5-on-5-on-5 Survivor Series Elimination Women's match. Rhea Ripley's a star, man. What is she, 22, 23? She's in that age group of people who are just excelling right now in the business. She was a star the night before TakeOver War Games, being down to people after Dakota Kai. Fantastic heel turn, by the way. She might be a contender for heel turn of the year. We don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, man, Rhea Ripley just dominating. And she pinned Charlotte Flair. Charlotte right now is like Hogan in 87. That's her equivalent. And she pinned her. You know what I mean? That's awesome. Anyway, I gave the whole match a B.
I don't know if I would call Charlotte Flair Hogan in 87. She's not exactly drawing the money that Hogan was drawing in 87.
I'm talking about, as far as, the women's division, she's the star. Like Becky's Macho Man. We just have to accept the fact.
Okay, so Becky might be the champion, but she's not the real star. She's not the real number one.
Exactly,
Okay, I see how it is. So, I enjoyed the match. I think there was no, bad match on the show, but I think the booking on some of these matches I did not enjoy, and especially the NXT match. I didn't like it, the whatever women's tag team match. I thought you have Candice LeRae and Io Shirai just leave because they get injured on a spot that we didn't even really see. Why did they get injured? How did they get injured? We never saw it. and then they come back, and then they're working together. Candice and Io, who are bitter enemies, they had a fantastic match at Takeover at SummerSlam, and then they just went to War Games the day before, and now they're working together to help Rhea get out of the bank statement, which Rhea should be, this dominating force, and they put Sasha Banks, who's one of the lead heels in the company, who maybe she shouldn't be a heel because she's so likable and she's so talented, but that's a different issue with the thing. So the booking at the end I thought was atrocious, and I really want to know who is booking this. I know Vince is the head honcho and he is the guy who does everything, but Triple H, who is the daddy of NXT, he should have a say in this because his quote-unquote company is also being booked in this show as well. So I thought it did some damage to Rhea Ripley. Yes, she was put over, they won the match and everything, but the crowd, as well as me, did not like the booking of NXT at the end of this match.
First of all, did you just call Triple H a daddy?
I mean, I said he is the daddy.
Okay.
That's one of his many hats he wears.
Papa Trips, there are a lot of daddies in WWE, but none of them are a better daddy than Sonya Deville. Here's my thing here.
And Tommaso Ciampa. They can both be daddy.
Okay. Look, here's my thing here. This is where the whole brand supremacy thing just kind of, it's too convoluted. It should have just been Team WWE versus NXT. NXT, they have a right to want to fight for brand supremacy. I mean, they just got their own show on the USA Network, They're this little machine that could. Hell, I heard Enzo Amore. You remember that guy? Do you remember that guy? Enzo Amore?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him later on in this show. Look, he said that the NXT crowd better than the ECW crowd back in the 90s. He might be right. I wasn't watching back then, but he might be right. Just talk about that consistent run. I mean, it just makes sense. They're cheering on these people who they were the little engine that could. They were the underdogs, and look at them now. They're on the big stage, so to speak. And I feel like if we had just done Raw and SmackDown teaming up together to take on NXT, a lot of this stuff could have been avoided.
Or, hear me out, we do Survivor Series without brand supremacy, and we have traditional Survivor Series tag matches based on heated rivalries.
That's never going to happen.
Well, we have the match pick of the week, and it was a pretty good rivalry Survivor Series tag team match. I
mean, that's basically what Crown Jewel was with Hogan and Flair. That's basically what that was, man. Yeah. And
they didn't find themselves in a booking conundrum. So there you go.
Absolutely. But yeah, I gave it a B. Asuka, she's doing great things. We're going to talk about Asuka later on in the show. Love me some Asuka. Got to see Dana Brooke. I love Dana. Love her a lot. Today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Dana. We're going to move on. Roderick Strong. Yes, the NXT North American champion. He defeats the Raw, or at the time, the United States champion for Raw, AJ Styles, and the Intercontinental champion for SmackDown. Before we get into this match, that new IC title, it reminds me of the Undisputed title that Brock and Kurt and Eddie had back in the day. That Undisputed title, one of my favorite championships, but this new IC title, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. Look, the classic white IC title, it stood out. There was nothing wrong with it. You did not have to get rid of it. I mean, look at the guys that held, Ryback looked good with it. Finn looked excellent. KO looked good. Miz, he looked like an even bigger star when he had that championship. Seth made it mean something a little bit. Come on, guys. We didn't have to do this. Really.
Yeah, I like the title design in a bubble. I think it does kind of. I don't think it reminds me of the Undisputed title, but I think it kind of reminds me of kind of some of the indie, the European indie titles that we see out there, like Progress and stuff like that.
That's a good point.
I do agree with you that this title did need to be changed, and with all the title changes we've seen in the past, 5 years or whatever, especially since the new logo has been really put into commission, the IC title is one of the only titles that really had a legacy, and you can date it back to the 90s and the 80s, and it's this is the title that Shawn Michaels and Macho Man wore and everybody else, and that's kind of gone now. They could have changed this and made the new tag team titles with this, or even the United States Championship, because yes, it's been this way for 15 years. But the United States Championship, let's be honest, it's more of a WCW thing than the WWE thing. That's why I love the IWGP Championship. It's literally been the same design like forever, and it's like you can date it back and you can see everybody who's held the title, and it's like the same design and it's perfect, and that's what a championship should be. It's like it shouldn't be there to be sold.
The IWGP heavyweight title, I feel like it's had like a couple other designs. Like was that's not the same one I remember seeing Brock with. I know that's not the same one I remember seeing Vader with.
Well, maybe I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, but I mean, God, we're gonna get into championship designs, But I mean, look, this did not need to happen. And going on the U.S. title thing, look, I mean, people know I play these WWE games. I was on the Community Creations. I saw a combination of the current incarnation of the NXT Championship and then the WCW U.S. title that Goldberg held. They put those together. That thing looks sweet. If we can get something like that going for the U.S. title, I'd be okay with it, but come on, man. You didn't need to do this to the IC. It was classic. It was clean cut. I might have to buy that replica now, just so I can see it. Hell, Brandon, I'll put a logo on it. That might be the new Bulletcast title. Never know. Never know.
Maybe.
Absolutely. But this match was good. If they had just given them like 10 more minutes, like I don't. It didn't seem like this match was really overproduced. But seriously, like, what I would have done, I would have just, like, given these guys 25 minutes and say, go have fun. That's all you needed to do. This was very good, though. It didn't hit, I thought it was going to go to that upper echelon. But this was good. I gave it a B+. It was good.
Yeah, I've been kind of saying I'm tempering my expectations. I've been disappointed with Shinsuke matches in the past, so I kept my expectations low. So I would say my expectations, I think, were surpassed. Not saying that it was an A+, fantastic match or anything, but I thought it was really good. I thought it was pretty much, what I thought you could expect from these guys. But once again, the booking, I wasn't a big fan of. And it was also, an issue because all three of these guys are technically heels. So you get the finish where, the stolen finisher, which we've seen so many times, and that's just another crutch in triple threat matches that I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I just realized, heel versus heel versus heel. We don't get that often. It was special. I enjoyed it. But yeah, man. Like I said, give them 10 more minutes and. This could have possibly been an A minus, A plus. It was on the verge of doing that if they had gotten a little bit more time. But a shout out Roddy picking up the win for the Undisputed Era. Speaking of Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, baby, he retains the NXT Championship against Pete Dunne. The night before, Pete Dunne was in a triple threat match with Damian Priest and Killian Dane. I enjoyed Killian Dane. I want to see him get a nice little push. Throw him over NXT UK, let him beat Walter for the NXT UK title. I'm all for it. I really am. And Damian Priest, that tope right over the top rope, I was like, oh, okay. He really is the more athletic Baron Corbin. But look, do we have a Wrestler of the Month category, Brandon? Like, it has to be Adam Cole. Nobody's had a better November than Adam Cole, baby. I mean, the match with Bryan, the potential almost match of the week quality with Seth until it got interrupted, and then the ladder match with was it Dominik Dijakovic, the War Games match, and then this. Oh my God, we might have to start doing Wrestler of the Month because Adam Cole, he wins November 2019,
then he took Bump of the Year with Keith Lee on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I saw the clip. I was like, oh my God, Mamma Mia, as Mauro would say. And we're going to talk about Mauro in a little bit. But yeah, man, I mean, this was good. I had to watch it back. When I think a match is really good, I watch it back like the same day or day after. And this was that. They only went 14 minutes, but it was so good.
I thought this was the best match of the show. I didn't think it reached that next level like the Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate match, which I was kind of comparing it to going into the show, thinking that, this can just be a one-off, or not a one-off, but, it can be the match that they go out there and just have an insane, crazy match. And I thought it was really good. I thought, with the match they had the night before, you kind of don't want them to go out there and do a bunch of crazy spots, which they kind of did. We got a Panama Sunrise on the ring apron, which I don't know why they did that, but, God bless them. So, I mean, the finish was never really in doubt. I thought it was so obvious that Adam Cole was going to win, so that maybe kind of hindered a little bit, but still a really good match.
Yeah, I like how he's modified the last shot to just slapping him in the back of the neck and the back of the head with his knee instead of just face forward. I really do like that. I gave this match an A. Match of the night, in my opinion. We're going to talk about the Fiend in the Blue Universal Championship. He retains it against Daniel Bryan, and it's about 10 minutes. It should have been a couple minutes shorter, in my opinion. Should have been about like 5 or 6. But yeah, I gave this a C+. Daniel got in way too much offense. And yeah, I don't know if you saw that thing I posted on Instagram for the Bulletcast account, but whoever has a match with the Fiend, they start to have a personality like shift. We saw it with Finn already. Daniel's now like he's mentally unstable, caring about this business so much, and what we saw with Seth on Monday. But yeah.
I enjoyed this match, I think, a little bit more than you did. I think they went so far in one direction with Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins it was just so cartoonish. Like literally, like all the moves that the Fiend was taking and just no selling them. So I think you have to rein it in a little bit. And I think they kind of towed that line to where the Fiend was like no selling, but also kind of selling some spots. And I thought this match was better than both the Seth Rollins matches. So I think that they're heading in the right direction. But that you could, leave the door open to a Daniel Bryan match later down the line. But I think we're just kind of seeing like what exactly can you do with the Fiend character when you go so far where he's just stomp, 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 and he just gets up like nothing happened.
Yeah, like this was more realistic, and realistic is, I'm using that word very loosely. We're talking about a fictional character in a fictional world. It's supernatural, but it did what it needed to do. Can't wait to see, today's Friday, huh? Can't wait to see what's gonna go down with the Fiend. See what's gonna happen there. The Men's Survivor Series team match, I gave it a B+. Keith Lee. Brandon, are you basking in his glory?
If you listen to Under the Radar, the show I do mostly every week. We took a vacation this week because it's Thanksgiving and everything. But I've been saying for a long time that I do believe that Keith Lee has been in line for a much-deserved push, and it seems though he's been getting that.
Dude, I discovered this guy a few years ago. Oh my god, just a gem. I mean, to pin Seth Rollins, who is supposed to be the new, like, really top guy, the guy who beat Brock Lesnar twice this year, so Keith got that rub, but then, he had to lay down for the big dog, but even just the exchange, the fist bump at the end, I'm like, okay, much respect. Like, Keith Lee, put him on SmackDown. I need Keith and Roman to go 25. I do. I really, really do. You want to make that new Intercontinental Championship mean something to me? Keith and Roman, let them go 25 minutes for it. That'd be dope.
I thought this match was very athletic. It was very well worked and everything. Once again, still had some booking issues. I think this is what you run into when you have a 15-man match and you can't protect everybody. I know the Walter spot where he gets eliminated, I understand the reasoning behind it because he got blindsided and he was beating up on Braun Strowman, but it's like Walter is like such a new character, especially in the WWE sense where he's, we've never really seen him for that long, and then he just gets kind of eliminated like it's nothing. Damian Priest, I know he didn't really get a whole lot as well, but I think he is kind of the last out of all the 5 guys on that team. But as you said, I think Keith Lee really did shine, and I think it's a good thing to say that Keith Lee was getting the shine because I think that shows hope that Vince sees something in him. I don't know if that means, bad things for Tommaso Ciampa or even Matt Riddle. Yes, he pinned Randy Orton, which if that's a WrestleMania match, I wouldn't complain too much about because I think that shows that they want Matt Riddle to be in a marquee spot. But overall, very well worked. And of course, at the end, Roman must pose.
Look, let me go off on my tangent about Matt Riddle here. The fact that he pinned Randy Orton a day after Finn Balor beats him, like, I'm glad Randy let him eat that RKO. Like, he never should have got pinned. If you were going to build a sports entertainer from the ground up, you know who he'd look like, Brandon?
Matt Riddle?
No, he wouldn't look like that pothead. He'd look like Randy Orton.
Well, I mean, Randy Orton does dabble in the dabs.
Dabs? He dabbles in the dabs because he has abs. Good abs. Those are world champion abs. But yeah, enough about my hatred of Matthew Riddle. We're going to talk about Brock Lesnar retaining the WWE Championship. Look, dude, they almost had me. Like, WWE's been so predictable for the last couple of years now, but they really almost had me. Dominic hitting that 619, and then the frog splash, tribute to his. Can we say real daddy on this show? I don't know. Tribute to Eddie, and then I thought for a second if Ray had won, it would have been okay. Really would have been okay.
Yeah, I mean the whatever couple minutes where Ray finally gets the lead pipe and beats him down and does that spots. I mean, it was that was like the one spot where you can okay, he's gonna win. And then he kicks out, and then we all jump back into reality where Brock Lesnar just F5s everybody and we go home.
Yeah, yeah. But I gave it a B. It was fun. It was fun. It was nice and fun. We're going to talk about the main event. Shayna Baszler, the NXT Women's Champion, she defeats SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley and Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. This is a C minus, man. Nothing happened. Survivor Series, what this card, what this pay-per-view lacked was a moment, a moment in time where we're going to remember, Survivor Series 1990, The Undertaker shows up, oh my God, Survivor Series, I'm drawing a blank right now, but you know what I mean, a moment, this would have been the perfect time for Ronda Rousey to come, they mentioned her, she could have just come out there, cost Becky the win, let Shayna pin Becky, and then we're basically setting up WrestleMania 36. We're basically setting it up. But nothing happened. And then Becky stood tall at the end anyway. It's what?
I think the crowd did kind of hurt this match. I think you have the men's and women's Survivor Series matches where it's just so much action in such a short period of time. If you can call 30 minutes a short period of time. But, I mean, there's just so much stuff going on in this show that even though it wasn't, a WrestleMania 7-hour show, I think the crowd was a little burnt out. And this match was well built. I understand why I think maybe one of the reasonings to have this match be last is because they wanted NXT to quote-unquote stand tall, but then Becky Lynch is the one who gets the comeuppance, even though she got beat clean, and it just didn't make any sense. So I think, that's the reason. Because I think having the men's match be the men's tag team match being the last match, I think could have been realistic. I think having Roman, winning at the end, but, have the show of respect between he and Keith Lee. But then I think the whole brand supremacy thing kind of gets in the way because of the numbers and who they want to win. And I think they wanted NXT to win the last match for whatever it's worth. And the match itself, I thought it was fine. I mean, it was well worked. I think the triple threat match did affect it because the real feud is Becky and Shayna. And with Bayley kind of getting in the way and, one of them having to take a nap while the other two work, that does kind of affect the match. But as I said on my NXT War Games recap, if you like, you can go listen to it on this subscription feed. I pretty much predicted, I stamped it in cement that Shayna Baszler was going to win just because she lost so convincingly the night before at War Games.
Yeah. I mean, War Games... Go what? The women's War Games, they worked very well. Io Shirai, I don't have the zipper sound effect, but you know what I mean. And her diving off the top of the cage, bow, hello. The one thing I do think I really do like about Survivor Series this year, they didn't do Brock versus Fiend versus Adam, because how does that even work? If Seth was Universal Champion, okay, then I could see them doing that match. I'm glad those three guys had singles matches for their championships. I'm glad that did happen. Yeah.
And they all worked out. I mean, they were all pretty much... There was not a bad match on the show, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, overall grade Survivor Series 2019. Brandon, what are you going to give it?
I think overall I would give it a solid B+. I thought everything was worked well. Both the Survivor Series matches were really good. The singles matches were good. I think everything was really good. Booking is what kind of takes it away from being an A for me.
Yeah, I'll give it a B-, only because, Matt Riddle pinned Randy Orton. Anyway, moving on. Outside of the ring, Mauro Ranallo, he leaves Twitter, deletes it, signs off, whatever. So Corey Graves, we all know Corey Graves, the savior of misbehavior. He took to Twitter and he said, "Just for the record, guys, I know you wouldn't know it, but there's a reason why a WWE Hall of Famer and a former Ring of Honor champion are on commentary. I'd imagine they have a lot to offer. Hashtag NXT Takeover War Games." And I'm Mauro Ranallo. If you've seen the bipolar rock and roller HBO doc that happened, you know he deals with the mental illness, and we don't know what can set Mauro off. We really don't. So he signed off social media. He was supposed to be at a Survivor Series calling NXT matches, but Michael Cole took his place, and Michael did fine. And was he on NXT last night or Wednesday night?
He was not, and they didn't give the excuse of him blowing out his vocal cords. They just said, he's not here. We hope he's doing well. So I guess that's a little, dog whistle to people who know.
Yeah. So, and Corey Graves, he mentioned this on his podcast this week. I haven't listened to it. I don't know exactly what he said. But what are your thoughts on all this, Brandon?
Well, it's a very complicated situation, mental illness. You never know. There's good days and bad days, as Mauro said in his documentary, and apparently it seems as though he's not in a very good place right now, which, hopefully everything works out. I don't know, what it takes for him to get out of it. Sometimes just, you just wake up and everything just kind of goes away. But I didn't listen to the apology or pseudo apology, but I did hear the transcripts or read the transcripts, and it's one of those crappy "I'm sorry to any of those who were offended" apologies, which I really don't like. I mean, it just kind of seemed like it was an apology of him getting caught than what he actually said. And Corey, maybe he's the one that needs to delete Twitter, because he's found himself in multiple situations where he tweets something, and then there's a backlash, and then, he can hide behind being a character or whatever. So, I mean, it's a very complicated situation. And then the Mauro side, mental illness, bipolar disorder is, it sucks. But then I don't understand why he would take it so harshly, and why he would, it's just I keep saying it's a complicated situation. And it's just kind of hard to really, be on one side or the other. It's just kind of something you need to watch and, wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, like I said, man, people who deal with mental illnesses and like depression, bipolar disorder, like we don't know what can set them off. We could say something that would be like just a normal person could. I don't want to say normal, Jesus. Somebody else could just brush it off the shoulder, but to them it could be something that can just ruin their whole day, and they could be like not okay for the next couple of days, weeks, or even months. Like we don't know what can set people off nowadays, so that's why we have to be so politically correct and really watch out for what we say around people, because we just don't know. But Mauro, you're a hell of a talent, man. Like I enjoy the. I think didn't Corey mention something about like the rap references? Like I enjoy them. Like Mauro made one about like open up a window, like Travis Scott, the antidotes running out, something like that. Like I enjoy them. They're cool. They're fun. I like pop culture references when somebody's calling a wrestling match. I really do enjoy it. Mauro, you're a hell of a talent, dude. I really appreciate your work. Get well soon. I need to hear you back on commentary very, very soon.
I enjoy Mauro's commentary. I wouldn't say he's the best. I would still say Kevin Kelly is the best commentator in the land today. But, I enjoy what he does. He has a passion which comes across. And yes, sometimes his forced pop culture references are a little too much. But overall, I think Mauro is the best commentator in WWE. Maybe it's because of the producing or just because of the sheer talent of Mauro.
Maybe I should just start making pop culture references on this show.
That being said, it was refreshing to hear Tom Phillips back. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It really has. All right, keep it on the track of like depression and mental health and mental illness. Kylie Rae explains her departure from AEW. I'm not going to read the whole statement. I'm just going to read a nice little snippet of it. She took to Instagram 5 days ago, and she said this: "I don't know how to start this, and I can't speak on others' behalves. I can only speak for myself and what's in my heart. I don't know many rumors, and honestly try to stay away from everything, obviously. But here, nobody made me leave AEW, took my career to the next level, and I am beyond grateful to everyone there for the opportunity and experience that came with it. And then after that, she just talks about how she had to get her mind and soul right with God, and so it was just something she had to do for her. But yeah, so For those of you that wanted an explanation all these months, here you go. Go to her Instagram, and there it is. She just needed to get right with herself.
I mean, that sounds good and all, but I think there has to be something there. Like, why? Like, yes, she kind of she talked in, like, whatever bland statements or whatever, but I think we probably will find out that maybe something, maybe not, something negative, but maybe just something, maybe happened to her that is the reason why she had to leave.
Yeah, people say that Brandy Rhodes ran her out of the company. I don't think that. Like, Brandon, you've met Brandy, right? At the Cow Palace, didn't you?
Very nice lady.
Yeah, she's super nice, super chill. Like, I don't believe that, man. Like, maybe I don't know. Like, she kept it pretty vague in that statement. Like, you can go read all of it, and you still, like, okay, spiritual thing possibly. But, like, look, we don't know. Seriously, like, we just don't know. We don't. But
Yeah, I mean, it's still a weird situation that she was one of the top women in the company, and then she just kind of leaves. Like, that doesn't really happen without something going down.
that's very true. That's very true. Speaking of top women in a company, let's talk about Lana. She signs 5 more years with WWE. Brennan, elaborate on that for us.
Well, I just can't wait for the 5-year build of Lashley and Rusev main eventing at WrestleMania. It's going to be. This is a slow build right now. I mean, Rusev got arrested, so he's going to sit some time in jail for he's going to think about what he did, and then maybe he's going to serve a couple-year sentence, and he's going to come back, and then there you go. Boom.
I mean, honestly, what's going to be the plan with Lana, Brandon? What's going to be the plan?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I know Rusev is maybe not a person who is going to leave, but it's someone who a lot of people want him to leave. And yes, I know they're technically divorced, but I mean, let's be honest, they're still together. I mean, on Instagram, I know it wasn't a total break of kayfabe, but I did some investigative reporting, and Lana posted a picture with her and her dog, and then Rusev posted a picture with the same dog. So I think they were together for Thanksgiving yesterday, Philip. I don't want to speculate, but they might still be a couple.
Well, you got to do it for the in-laws, man. Mama Ruru. I mean, Lana and Rusev were on Total Divas, and they went to Bulgaria. I remember that. You're the Total Divas connoisseur of the show. Did Mama Ruru, did she like Lana?
I don't think we actually saw Rusev's family. They just showed up in Bulgaria, and Lana did some country stuff, and then they left. So there you go.
Sorry, I was taking a swig of my liquid charisma. Yeah, well, Rusev, he hasn't signed nothing yet. I do like Rusev. Push the guy, please. We're going to talk about a segment on Raw. You got to push this guy. He's another guy that, if he were to come back to WWE, I'd like to see him get pushed.
And let me be frank, I got that hot sauce.
Do you remember that guy? Do you remember Enzo Amore?
The name rings a bell.
Dude, look, there was a lot of controversy that surrounded him in Phoenix, and the only line I can remember from that song is, consensual penis? Probably because you kept saying it on the show that one day. Look, man, the guy was good. He was very good on the microphone. I mean, I can remember times me and my buddy sitting in a TV class, and we're just reciting Enzo lines back and forth, back and forth. The guy was good. He was talented, hella charismatic. He just did an interview with my boy Chris Van Vliet, friend of the show, made me an honorary Canadian, and it's like an hour and 20 minutes, but you have to watch the entire thing. Like, he becomes a likable guy. He really does. He talks about the whole Survivor Series thing where he gets thrown out of the building, and you were there for that, right, Brandon? Yeah, that was last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what happens after he gets taken out? He bought a $2,500 ticket. He just stands up on a chair, and the security guard was like, "You need to go talk to Vince." And the guy's like, "I don't work here anymore." So he ditches out a side door, and he meets a fan and talks to him for like 20 minutes, and he just goes on about his day. Very interesting guy, man. He's starting. He has like a boxing gym now, and he's gonna have a recording studio there, and it's very very interesting what Enzo's been up to lately. He's getting back into the ring. Yeah, man. He has beef with Simon Botch, as he called him, Joey Geneva, and then He has heat with Tama Tonga because of the whole garden thing. But yeah, man, very interesting interview.
Well, Enzo is a very interesting person. He is charismatic. I will give him that. But there has been times where people will point him out on his BS, and I mean, I don't want him to. I don't know if this is what it came across as, but was he trying to like play the victim on that whole Survivor Series thing?
In the interview?
Yes.
No, he was just he didn't seem like he was playing a victim about anything because like nothing like happened to him, like he wasn't charged with anything, like nothing happened to him.
That being said, I mean, he does a lot of things where he tries to get himself over, like that Survivor Series thing. I know the crowd popped and they were chanting for him, but that was just me personally. I just rolled my eyes and was just like, dude, like what the hell are you doing? Like just stop it. Stop it. And then they do the thing at MSG, which apparently was, I mean, obviously it was in conjunction with ROH, and that company is a whole different thing that we can talk about later because they're seemingly, going down the drain. But I'm not the biggest fan of Enzo. Hopefully, Big Cass gets well. I know he kind of talked a little bit about him, but hopefully all is well with Enzo. But I would not care if I never see him in a wrestling ring again.
Dude, he doesn't even have to wrestle again, bro. He can just be somebody's manager because the charismatic as hell. Maybe Enzo needs to do the intro to these shows. Maybe I'll contact him and he can just do that for us. It'd be great.
Yeah, Philip, we're not making enough money for that.
Yeah, you're right. Well, once we get some cheddar, bada boom, realest guys in the room, how you doing? So you see right there, you get caught up in it, you miss it, you love it. All right, inside of the ring, Impact Wrestling Throwback Throwdown. It was basically Southpaw Regional Wrestling, the whole little WWE thing that they did. I think some of those episodes are on the network, if not all of them. And yeah, this was actually quite entertaining from what I saw. You had Tessa Blanchard and Jordan Grace, and I forget the two other women, but the real four horsewomen in my opinion. Yeah, I went there.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Mama Thickness.
Yeah, shout out Mama Thickness. Bada boom. Thickest girl in the room. How you doing? Anyway, yeah. So that was cool. Tessa Blanchard cut a promo like Magnum TA. I'm not gonna. The original Magnum TA line was actually quite awkward for camera. But go look it up. It's actually quite funny. And then you have Willie Mack there. It's just old school. It was like the '80s. You have Sammy Callahan dressing up like Jim Cornette. Like it's a good throwback. It's nice.
Yes, that aged very well.
Oh yeah, it did age very well. Very quick too. Right off the cuff.
That's what happens when you tape shows. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, do your shows live, guys, and then you can adapt on the fly, This day in wrestling, should we get into it? We should. Raw 1999, this was Test and Stephanie's wedding, and then, of course, Triple H, they get married while Stephanie is intoxicated and under the influence of God knows whatever, in a drive-through chapel in Vegas. All in good fun. All in good fun. You can't do that today. You can't Cosby some... Oh, gee, I mean, You know where I was going with that. Yeah, we have SmackDown 2005. This is where Randy Orton drives Eddie Guerrero's limousine. Eddie has been dead for a couple weeks at this point, R.I.P. And then we have some birthdays. Jerry Lawler is 70, Zeb Coulter is 70, JBL, probably one of the biggest bullies of them all. I'm JK, I love JBL. He's 53, and then Dana Brooke is 31.
Shout out Dana Brooke. Her and Batista had a lovely back and forth conversation on Twitter on Wednesday.
I saw that, they not even sliding in DMs, just putting it out there for us to see. So, is Batista, is he about to slide through in that?
I mean, Batista just Steph Curry'd and pulled up from the logo, and I think it went in. Nothing but net.
That's so weird. Do you have any thoughts about anything else that happened on this day?
No, as you said, I don't think we can have a wrestler Hot Cosby and somebody to get them married anymore. Those times have passed.
Puddin' Pops, Puddin' Pops. All right, this is not a wrestling question, but the fan mail kicks off with Alfie Lewis, Brandon's #1 fan.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Guys, with 2019 coming to an end and 2020 soon approaching, who is the best artist of this decade? From 2009 to 2019, who is the artist of the decade? It has to be Drake, bruh. He's been the most consistent.
That is a very big, overarching question that's very hard for me to think of in a span of 10 seconds, but Drake is kind of the first person who comes to mind. He kind of popped off, early in the decade, and then he grew to whatever he is today. I think, Adele is another one that you have to kind of say, like, oh, she had a very good year, and Taylor Swift is another one, but I think, those three are probably in top contention, I would say. Maybe Kanye as well. I don't know.
No, I think because I'm looking at the catalog right now. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dropped like what 8 albums this decade. I mean, and he doesn't miss. You know what I'm saying? Like there are a couple songs. No.
I think he missed this last album.
What? Scorpion didn't miss. It was nice.
That thing was an hour and a half, and it didn't need to be that long. If it was like 45 minutes with his singles that were really good and some of the other songs, it would have been good.
Okay, listen. I have the Scorpion album up right now. Let me tell you the songs you actually need to hear. Nonstop, Elevate, God's Plan, I'm Upset, 8 out of 10. Mob Ties, Sandra's Rose is really good. The Michael Jackson song, I do enjoy that. The fact that he got that catalog after that's been locked up for like 35 years is impressive to me. Nice for What, Happy Ratchet Birthday, Blue Tint, In My Feelings, of course. Those are nice, but overall Drake doesn't miss. That's my whole point.
He missed when he was trying to go for Pusha T.
Look, he came out here with a Degrassi music video. Like he got the band back together. He wasn't even thinking about Pusha T. Like he did something bigger than Pusha T. You know what I'm saying?
But Pusha did body him. Just saying.
But it doesn't even people weren't even talking about that anymore. They weren't. He dropped this Degrassi music video. I'm like, oh, Degrassi. I remember that show that he was on it. I mean, let's really think about this for a second, guys. I know we're getting off the wrestling topic. This guy who came from a Canadian teen melodrama soap opera became probably one of the biggest things in the game today. That's a story. That's a story, man.
Reining it back in, since we're doing the Bulletcast Awards at the end of the year, are we going to do like a decade award?
I was just thinking that we should have a wrestler of the decade, somebody who we have to look at their work from 2009 to 2019. It might have to be like Big Match John, The Undertaker. You never know, man. You never know. All right, we're gonna move on. Jack of all trades. This Lesnar match with a smaller guy. I think he's talking about the Rey Mysterio match. This Lesnar match with the smaller guy. It wasn't as good as last year's. What made it so different? Who did he wrestle last year? Was it Daniel Bryan?
It was the freshly turned Daniel Bryan.
Well, that's why. And then I just recently watched the Styles one back. Oh, God, it was so good. God, it was good.
I mean, we've talked about it. Like, I think Brock Lesnar is much better when he does those sprint matches. I mean, I still say that Goldberg match he had at WrestleMania was fantastic. And Brock Lesnar, when he has such a small moveset, if he's only in there for 10 minutes, it's good. When he does a little bit more than that, it's not so good. So I think the smaller men, and I think Brock Lesnar is deceptively quick, and he is able to, work with those smaller guys if he wants to. That's always the big if he wants to. So
absolutely.
Brock Lesnar, very underrated. Not as underrated as Sonya Deville.
Oh, yeah, Daddy, of course. Hootie Who 420. Seth's...
Hootie Who.
Oh, yes, there you go. Seth's biatch ass finally turned heel. It's about bloody time. We're going to get into that when we talk more about the world of professional wrestling. Robert Walker. The new Steve Austin show with The Undertaker was tremendous. Loved the stories that were told. Have you guys seen it, and do you have a favorite story? Brandon, have you seen Broken Skull Sessions?
I still have not seen it, because isn't it like 2 hours, and I feel as though I need to set aside a chunk of time to watch that.
It's not 2 hours. It's only like an hour and 18 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I watched it. Oh, it was good, Just The Undertaker and Steve Austin just talking wrestling while they're throwing back some jack. Like it's great. It's really really great. Like he talks about like the territory days, how we got started training up until what he's doing now. He talked about out drinking Cypress Hill, like out partying Cypress Hill. That was dope. That was a pretty cool story. That you need to listen to that part. That was super chill. No, like they partied hard, and X-Pac's just sleeping on his shoulder, and Taker's like Pac, and he's like, oh, what's going on, Take? And then Taker's like, he just no sells it the next morning because they have an early call. His head's pounding. He's like, oh, what's going on, guys? You partied a little too hard last night, huh? Like it's just cool. And then obviously we talk WrestleMania 30. He does not remember the match at all. He remembers having a conversation a few hours before the match with his wife, and that is all. That is all he remembers from that day. Like
well, that's not good.
He gets concussed like in the first 3 to 5 minutes of the match. He's watched it back so many times he can't tell you where it happens. But that's crazy, right? And then of course he talks about his career and when's he gonna hang him up. He's like, he'll know when it's time. And honest to God, it probably should have been time a while from now. He talked about when he leaves his jacket, and I feel like I'm giving away the whole thing. I really do, but there's so much that's covered. Like they talked for about 4 hours, but we got like an hour and 20 minutes worth of content released, and it's a really good story. He talks about the loss to Roman, how he really did think it was going to be the last time, but Vince is so convincing he convinced him to do another one. It's a really really great listen, like just to see Taker out of his element like that. It's phenomenal.
It's kind of crazy to think that Roman match was almost 3 years ago, and he's still kicking.
He is. I mean, he looks in a lot better shape now than he did in that match. Like just looking at him on the interview, I'm like, oh, he looks pretty good. He looks good. Plus, we saw him in that tag match with Roman, Drew, and Shane. He looked good there. So I mean, we'll see. We shall see. Alright, we're going to go over the Instagram because we have some DMs over there. One of our graphic designers for the BC, in Brightest Day X, he hit us up. Let me go to these. Oh, he gave us 4 of them. Oh boy. Are you ready?
Stay ready.
Who's the new face on the Firefly Funhouse tonight? Heard some rumors about it being Liv Morgan. Could possibly be Liv Morgan. We don't know. Hopefully it is, because that would entice me to just watch SmackDown alone for that. What about you?
I've heard the rumors that Liv Morgan has been away for such a long time that it could be her. I mean, it could, if they want to have like a Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse stable. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I mean, I think you can do some fun things with that. I don't know if Liv Morgan's the right person. I mean, she's very charismatic. I think she can carry a Sister Abigail or whatever type of character would be well. So I'm still waiting. I mean, how long has it been since Liv Morgan just left after losing to Charlotte? It's been a long time.
It's been like August, right? August or July, something like that. It's been a while.
And she's not even on the same brand as her anymore, so it doesn't even matter.
Yep. All right. Okay. Who's ordering Jericho's new line of bubbly? AEW. They have some bubbly out, like an actual line. I'm gonna have to get that maybe for New Year's. Brandon and I sharing some bubbly on New Year's. Yep. No.
I was able to watch AEW live for the first time ever, and I tried to go up on the internet a little bit of the bubbly.com, and the site didn't crash, but it was definitely jam packed. It was loading very slowly.
You've never watched Dynamite live?
I've been watching on like slight delay because I have school on Wednesday, so usually I come home on Wednesday, eat, go to the gym, come back around 5:30, so then I'll watch it a little bit, I don't get the commercial, so there you go. And then I watch NXT usually afterwards. But this time, I did the flipping back and forth like I was back in the 90s.
Wow. Oh, Brandon, you're going to love this question. It's about the Canadian Destroyer.
Those are my favorite questions.
Yes. Would anyone else agree that there appears to be an overuse of the Canadian Destroyer, especially on AEW? Look, I mean, no matter how many times you see the movie, you're still like, oh... At least some people are. When it's hit in a new way, I've seen it like on the apron. I was like, oh my God! Like, is Pete Dunne okay? Is he alive? But yeah, you get my drift.
I do think the Destroyer might be a move that is getting a little bit overused. I mean, we saw the Panama Sunrise used a couple times. We saw Rey Mysterio use it. We've seen Ricky Morton use it. We've seen, was it Rey Fenix use it? I think, like, even a few years ago, like, that was a move that we never really saw a whole lot. And maybe now that Petey Williams, or I don't know if it's the Petey Williams thing, but it's just, I feel like it's definitely, the use of it has gone up within the last at least couple months.
It's become the super kick, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more like the new DDT.
Bro. Alexa Bliss, best DDT in the business. Nobody kicks out. Alright, am I the only one, this is the last question, am I the only one digging that braid Samoa Joe's got going on lately? You know, Samoa Joe, he has a nice braid, he has a nice head of hair. It's no what, like 2005 Samoa Joe, but you know, I'll accept it.
I do like the braids, because if you notice when Joe was growing his hair out a little bit, you know, he's getting a little older, so his hair isn't as thick as it used to be. So I think, you know, having the braids kind of covering up the soft spots is a good look for Joe, and it makes him look kind of menacing.
Well, why you gotta talk about that man's soft spots?
Hey, you know, I'm right there with him, so.
Your boy is too. I gotta go get another haircut. Alright, we're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw, the Town Hall meeting, and this was really just a nod to people who, like, read the dirt sheets, or because Dave Meltzer reported a few weeks ago that Seth had a Raw meeting in the back, like, hey, we need to be better and all this other stuff, and that's basically what this was. It was a nod to those who know. And yeah, Seth, he just started ripping into people, like, got into Randy Orton. Randy started doing the jerk-off motion, talked trash to Charlotte, like, you consider yourself a Flair? Talked about Rey Mysterio, and Rey was like, man, shut the F up. And yeah, I mean, everybody just starts, you know, walking out on him. KO comes in, they trade words, and then KO gives him a stunner. What do you think about the Town Hall meeting?
I thought the Town Hall meeting was okay. I thought it definitely was setting up something later on down the show. I mean, Seth, I don't know if this was like a full-fledged heel turn on this opening segment, but it definitely felt like it. Seth Rollins did not really come across as a very likable person. He was his rah-rah speech did not go over well with the boys and the girls.
Dude, look, Twitter Seth Rollins is making his way onto TV, and I like it. Because, like, heel Seth Rollins, like 2015? Oh, what a run! What a run! What a heel... Like, when he turns heel on the Shield in June of 2014, all the way up until... When does he turn heel? Turn face, like... September 2016? Like, what a run! I mean, the injury slowed it down a lot, but still, heel Seth Rollins is the best Seth Rollins. I love heel Rollins. And then this leads to a match between KO and Seth Rollins, ends in a no DQ because the authors of Pain, AOP, come out and just beat up Kevin Owens in suits. They look at Seth Rollins, but they don't do anything. Then Seth Rollins gives Kevin Owens a couple curb stomps. Look, if AOP are going to be Seth's heavies, it's a win. It's an absolute win.
I do think that having this be Shield 2.0, but having Seth as the clear-cut leader and AOP, you know, being the heavies form, I do enjoy that. I think it can be a good thing. That being said, if Seth Rollins is turning heel, or if he's, I don't know, like when the official heel turn is, if it hasn't come already, Seth needs to change up his moveset because it's way too babyface. He did a bunch of dives, and he's, you know, still getting his stuff in, which was always his MO back in the NXT FCW days, where no matter what everybody said, Seth always had to get his stuff in. So I think that's just something to wait and see as Seth Rollins becomes a more full-fledged heel going forward.
Yeah, and look, the curb stomp is that's a heel move. Like, you're stomping your opponent's skull into the canvas. That's a heel move, dude. Come on now. But look, you remember J&J Security? Yeah? Do you?
Yeah, I heard, Joey Mercury doesn't have a job anymore, so maybe he'll go back to WWE.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him wrestle with John Morrison like 2 years ago with the other guy. Good times. Yeah, look, so...
Mitchell was there?
Yeah. Oh, wow, you mentioned him by name. Wow.
Well, I mean, if it's the other guy, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so look, they can play the J&J Security role, not the goofy little guys, but, they can wear the suits when they accompany Seth, but if Seth needs some backup in a match where it has to be a multi-man match, that's when they can throw in their tactical gear, so to speak. I'm all for it, dude. AOP in suits, like, these guys can be my bodyguards. I'm digging it. I love it. We're going to move on, though. We're going to talk about So AJ Styles is supposed to defend the championship of the United States against Humberto Carrillo. He gets taken out by the OC. And then Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, they all come out there. Fatal 4-way happens for number 1 contendership. Rey wins. And then Rey Mysterio beats AJ Styles for the United States Championship. We got Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles on Raw. Like, what?
The Fatal 4-way match was good. The match with AJ Styles I thought was good as well. I read on the internet, so it must be true that maybe Humberto Carrillo is not Vince's shiny new toy anymore, and he's kind of done with him, getting a Cedric Alexander push, one might say. So that's not a good thing for old Humberto, but Ray getting his heat back, beating AJ. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I'm willing to wait and see.
Dude, look, Humberto needs to lose whatever kind of giant cape thing he's wearing. It's not working for me. But listen, man, in the year of our Lord, 2019, did you ever think that the most talked about guys in the last couple months would be Rey Mysterio and Chris Jericho? I mean, Jericho, 49, and then Rey's, 45, 46. And by the way, whatever, treatment Rey had done in South America, it's worked wonders for his career. This is the best run of Rey Mysterio's career. I mean, these guys have been wrestling longer than we've been alive, Brandon, and they're doing some of the best work of their career. You love it.
Good for them.
You don't think they're doing the best work of their careers?
I mean, right now, Chris Jericho's doing pretty well. I don't know about Rey Mysterio or AJ Styles or anything like that.
I didn't say AJ Styles. I said Jericho and Mysterio.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I was on Twitter for a little bit, so I was kind of out of it.
Do not scroll social media while we're recording, Brandon. That's not very nice.
Sorry, Mama Thickness has a 50% off Black Friday sale.
What? Are you going Black Friday shopping, Brandon? Gonna go catch those deals? Gonna go fight somebody for a TV?
No, I already did a little bit of Black Friday shopping last night. Grabbed Madden and grabbed some Amazon Fire TV sticks for the family. Got to keep everyone connected.
For sure. I might go do a little shopping after we record this illustrious podcast. We don't know. All right. Asuka defeats Charlotte Flair. Look, the Mist. I love it. You gotta love it. Asuka finally got that win over Charlotte. Every time they face each other, Charlotte's come up with the win, and plus, Charlotte ended the streak, bruh. Charlotte ended the streak.
It was so courteous of Charlotte to pull her hair back right before Asuka sprayed her in the face with mist, just so Charlotte doesn't get that much mist in her hair. So courteous of her. It's almost like she knew it was coming.
It is almost like she knew it was coming. That's just how it be. Like I said, I would like to see other variations of mist in wrestling. We've had this conversation, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. They got the red, the black, the blue, the yellow, the purple. I want to see one of those. Mix them all together. You never know what could happen. All right, Rusev.
Death.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Rusev gets arrested. Look, usually when somebody gets arrested on Raw, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I didn't have those feelings about this one, man. I loved everything about it. Rusev, ignoring the restraining order, coming out and just giving it to Bobby Lashley, pushing that I don't
because
know.
Lashley's giving it to Lana.
Hey-o. And then just pushing down that tower or whatever the hell that was on Lashley. You loved everything about it. You really did, man.
Yeah, it was fine. This whole Lashley Lana Rusev thing is not my cup of tea. People kind of like it for maybe all the wrong reasons, and it would make sense that if you were to, break a restraining order, that you would get arrested. And I don't think this is going to be Rusev's Stone Cold moment, but it was a nice visual.
What? No, you're not gonna what back and forth with me?
No, kill the what chance.
Wow. You won't recite Enzo lines with me. You won't do what? Come on, man. We gotta have something on this show. Kind of a lightning round to get through the rest of Raw. Buddy Murphy defeats a returning Matt Hardy. I love Matt Hardy. Popped huge for it, but I love me my BM.
Nice to see Matt Hardy. Hopefully they do something with him.
Yes, wonderful. Woken, yes. Andrade Cien Almas defeats Akira Tozawa. You loved it. You loved everything about it. Yeah.
It would have been nice if they either gave Akira Tozawa a little bit more or just not have him in the match at all, because 48 hours later he challenges Leo Rush for the Cruiserweight Championship and, had a stellar 50-50 match with them. So not looking too good for the cruiserweight division there.
Andrade is a bigger person than Leo Rush, so it just makes sense. And AOP defeats Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. Love AOP. Hawkins and Ryder. It's not 2008 anymore, guys. I'm sorry.
Yes, that did happen.
Yes. AEW Dynamite. So Chris Jericho's Thanksgiving celebration for Le Champion. You had to love it. You got to see Soul Train Jones, and Soul Train Jones took a bump.
I thought it was good. I think they might have been trying a little bit too hard for the whole Festival of Friendship thing, or This Is Your Life, or something like that. The Santana Ortiz shtick I didn't think worked very well. Obviously, the Jake Hager shtick didn't work well because the GOAT was not participating. AEW and Animals not having a good relationship right now, and the microphone situation, like the mic, it was like mic'd horribly. Like some of the things, it was kind of hard to hear what they were saying. But overall, I did think it was a good segment. I think you could have shaved off 5 minutes of it to make it, really good. But good start to the show, I would say.
You got to see Tim Irvine. Shout out Tim Irvine. Gotta love that guy.
The Chicago fans did not.
Well, nothing good.
Fickle.
Nothing good comes from Chicago unless you're CM Punk. No.
I don't know. Nothing was coming to mind.
Okay. The Best Friends defeat the Lucha Bros.
Once again, more 50-50 booking in the AEW Tag Team Division. I said about this last week with Private Party beating Santana and Ortiz, and now the Best Friends are beating the Lucha Bros. I mean, Lucha Bros and Santana and Ortiz, yes, they're both heels, but I think they should be like the clear-cut, like top of the division, and with the sports-like atmosphere of AEW, you can always have Private Party or Best Friends going to run later, but I just think Lucha Bros and Santana and Ortiz should not be losing like this. What are they doing?
Dude, look, I have no idea. I really, really, really don't. What's happening next week? Phoenix versus who? Is it Trent Beretta? Is it Chuck E.T.? Which one is it?
Oh.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, so Phoenix is probably going to win that, and it's just going to go downhill from there. More commentary of offensive terms, apparently. B. Priestley and Emi Sakura, oh, thank God I got that right, versus Chris Statlander and Hiraku Shida? Yeah, I think I said that right. Emi Sakura. Hikaru Shida, yeah. Emi Sakura, is she the one that dressed up like Freddie Mercury?
Yes, and according to JR, he's never seen Freddie Mercury look so oriental before.
Yeah, no.
And as soon as he said it, he knew he was wrong, and he tried to take it back. He can't take it back.
No, he just kept going, though. Never seen Freddie Mercury seem so oriental. Asian. A woman. I'm like, oh my God. Like, oh, somebody got offended off of that? Oh, Jesus, Like, that's honestly what was going through my mind. I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be good. I mean, it wasn't as bad as Jim Cornette,
If Jim Cornette was like a 10, I would say this was maybe like a 6. It was still bad, but it's not as bad.
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad. This match was
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the MO for the women's division right now in AEW. It was clunky, maybe not as clunky as some of the other ones, but yeah, it was meh.
Yes. Cody Rhodes, he makes his in-ring return to All Elite Wrestling Dynamite as he defeats Matt Nix with the figure 4. I haven't seen somebody win with a figure 4 since like 1989. Jesus Christ, man.
That's why you have the squash matches, to get the secondary moves over.
Exactly. And then Cody was attacked
by the Blade and the Butcher and Bunny. And to be honest, I didn't know who these people were, and then I realized like it was Ali and Braxton Sutter, and I still don't know who the other guy is, but the whole coming from the underneath of the rope or underneath the ring thing, I think the crowd kind of yawned at, and they didn't know who it was, which also made it kind of...
Wait, that was Braxton Sutter?
Yes, it was Braxton Sutter. I did not realize that until later on in the night.
He's always been bald. Wow. By the way, Ali, the bunny suit, heyo, and it makes sense, Kong and Brandy have been attacking Allie, so Allie's going to go after Brandy's husband, and we're probably going to get a Braxton Sutter Cody one-on-one match. This is just a tide over until we get to MJF and Cody. TV feuds, people, TV feuds.
And another really good tag team to add to that division to get 50-50 booked in.
Absolutely. Who has the best tag team division in the world, Brandon?
I mean, I think at this point it has to be AEW.
No, I mean, seriously. Come on, man. Seriously.
It's AEW.
Really?
I'm not joking. You got the Young Bucks, the Lucha Bros. You got Pride. You got Santana and Ortiz. I mean, LAX for the past year have been really killing it, and now they're in AEW. I mean, even the Best Friends, they're good for what they are. The Butcher and the Blade, I haven't really seen them work at all, so who knows what they can do, but, I've liked what I've seen from Braxton Sutter, so up and down, I think the tag team division in AEW is the best.
Man, a year ago, we would have been talking, New Japan has all these guys, and, yeah, they don't got nothing no more. All they got are some gorillas. That's all they got. Nobody else. Nobody. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, we have Kenny Omega, the AAA Mega Champion. He defeats Pac. He redeems himself.
Pac.
Or no, it's Pac. People who say Pac, I hate them. I really do.
So you hate the entire AEW company?
Look, I need to sit down with Jim Ross. We need to listen to some Tupac and be like, bruh, it's Pac, not Pac. Like we need to have this discussion. Probably at StarCast again in May. He and I will have this discussion. But yeah, man. So Kenny he redeems himself. He does, in the same building where he lost to Pac back in August.
It was a good athletic match. I'm not going to say 50-50 booking here, even though you could make that argument. But I think with Pac being the pseudo number one contender, but he's not going to challenge for the championship, I think having him lose here, it makes a little bit of sense. And if this is going to be a feud going forward, I wouldn't be mad at it. Hopefully they continue on with rebuilding Kenny for whatever they have down the line.
Absolutely. Because apparently he's the best bout machine, Yeah. Shout out Dasha Fuentes Dasha Gonzalez, sorry. Being on commentary after Justin Roberts got assaulted. Yeah.
Shout out. Follow her on Instagram. She's great.
Yeah, lovely human being. The Dynamite Ring dozen, whatever the hell this was. I still don't understand the purpose of it. Look, MJF defeats Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah, the match was meh. What's the big dude's name on the outside? I keep.
Was it like Wardlow or something like that?
Wardlow. There we go.
Yeah.
See, that's why we're a great team.
Exactly. You and me. We're like Jordan and Pippen,
And I'm Jordan, right?
Whoa.
Okay, I'm Dennis Rodman. Or maybe Steve Kerr. I'm just the little white guy there in the corner. You pass it to me sometimes, but I'm going to drain it every time.
Hey, bro, next year you got to be Rodman for Halloween. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
All right, I'll see what I can do. But anyways, back to this. As you kind of said, the diamond ring thing. I don't understand what's the purpose of it. It did just kind of seem like just a gimmick for MJF, so it was kind of just a foregone conclusion that he was going to win. And then we get DDP coming out. Maybe they set something up where we get MJF and Wardlow going up against DDP and Cody. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but it's just something that could happen. But and then the Hangman Adam Page thing. He's left the Elite. He loses again. Maybe he turns heel. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. It's going to be a. I'm going to pop when I see a diamond cutter because I live for those. I live for those moments. I saw the Brock Lesnar guy in the crowd. That guy must got some money, bro.
I mean, all those guys have money.
No, really. He went to what? SmackDown, TakeOver, Survivor Series, Raw, and then that.
I mean, it was all in Chicago, so just stay for 1 week.
I mean, my guy balling. I met him at Double or Nothing. Really nice guy. Shout out to the Brock Lesnar guy. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter. Really chill dude. All right, Dustin Rhodes, he cuts a promo talking about Jake Hager breaking his arm. And was it Jen Decker? She was the interviewer. She's You know. You know where I was going with that. Anyway, it leads to a whole brawl with Proud and Powerful. I guess we're going to go with that name. And the Young Bucks and Hager and Dustin. Or no, it was Sammy Guevara. And Dustin and... man, that power slam. That snap power slam. And it's still looking pretty crisp. Really is. I like it.
The promo from Dustin was good, and then we get the whole beatdown and the comeback from the baby faces. But I thought having the three heels in the corners doing just sitting there waiting for the Shattered Dream spot, it looked so stupid. Like they were just sitting there for 20 seconds or however long it was. It felt like forever. Just sitting there in the corner when they could clearly just get out of the corner. Just move your legs over the ropes and leave. But no, they just stood there and were shaking and selling it, and it looked like they looked dumb.
Yeah. I thought they were going to move, but I guess not. All right, Chris Jericho, he retains his championship. He is still Le Champion. He has a match with Scorpio Sky, and he wins, man. Yeah.
I mean, good match. I didn't really expect a whole bunch from this. Scorpio Sky is technically his first singles match in AEW, so doesn't really, show that he was that deserving. But we get it. He pinned him in the tag team match a couple weeks ago, so the match was fine. I think the believability of him winning wasn't all that high. I think it got good late, but I think it wasn't as believable as maybe like the Rey Mysterio thing. I would maybe equate it more to like Daniel Bryan and The Fiend. Like, the match was good, but let's be honest, there was no point in that match where we actually thought that Scorpio Sky or Daniel Bryan was going to win.
That's all very true. We got to kind of rapid fire after and go to wrestling practice. Superstar Spotlight, who do we got? Do I give it to Seth? I might have to give it to Seth Rollins.
Well, if you're going to give it to Seth, I got to give it to Adam Cole. I mean, we already talked about it. They
my
might
God,
be calling him Mr. November, but
you're right.
We know that's still Derek Jeter.
You're right. I'm sorry. Adam Cole, baby. You are the superstar of the month, man. You've earned it. You really have. Promo pick of the week, Seth Rollins, Monday Night Raw, July 14th, 2015, 6 days before the first ever Battleground pay-per-view. Brock is coming to redeem himself after WrestleMania 31, an event Brandon was actually at, WrestleMania 31. And this is when Seth crushes Corporate Kane's leg, shin on the steel steps. And then fast forward to Battleground, The Undertaker makes his return to redeem himself for the streak, and they go to SummerSlam and Hell in a Cell and all this other stuff that happened. But yeah, that promo leads to all that. This one.
Heel Seth Rollins is the best Seth Rollins.
I missed the blonde streak. Bring it back, Seth. Do it.
Maybe.
And the blonde streak, it makes him say, Say it. There. Finally, man. I've been waiting.
No.
Brandon, tell us about our match pick of the week.
Well, our match pick of the week, we're in the few days of not September, of November, and we're going to go with a Survivor Series match. I don't even know if we've done a Survivor Series match pick this month. But anyways, we got 2003. We got Team Austin taking on Team Bischoff. And if Austin's team wins, Stone Cold can continue to he can beat up on anybody he sees fit to. But if Team Bischoff wins, then Austin is fired, not from GM, but just from the company in general. Shout out to a friend of the podcast, Brian Zane. He did his 2003 Survivor Series recap, and this got a 5-star match rating from him. A very good match. Shawn Michaels tries to beat the odds. I think he's down, 1-on-2, 1-on-3. He's a bloody mess. He tries to do it. Does he? I don't know. Go and check it out.
I think I've watched this match in its entirety a couple years ago. That's why I just kind of skimmed through it for today. But yeah, man, this was I'm not going to spoil it, but this was an all-star performance by the Viper, the young legend killer Randy Orton, 23 years of age at this point. Look at the boy go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram Bulletcast, YouTube channel Bulletcast. Email us Bulletcast2 is in the number 2 sweet s. Oh my God, email us Bulletcast2 is in the number 2 sweet swet@gmail.com. 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville every Friday night from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Patreon. That's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We will come to you on Thursday of next week. Yes, go back to the regular day. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving with your families. Go Black Friday shopping. Don't get in too many fights over TVs. If you do, hit them with a Canadian Destroyer, the most overused move in the business. All right, Brandon, I'm going to talk to you next week. This has been the BC.
You are the weak, and I will always get back upon my feet. Why are they alive?
This has been the broadcast. Thank you for listening.